Okay, so we are going to discuss now laws of motion. The first thing we will discuss force. So what is force? So what is force? The force is an agent which causes the motion, or it causes the change of shape of an object, or which tries to change the state of motion or state of rest. So force is an agent which can change the state of motion. So how it changes the state of motion? Suppose an object is kept. If we apply a force, then object starts moving. So that is the change in the state of motion. Means it was at rest and finally after applying the force it starts moving. Second example we can take, if object is already moving, if you apply a force in front of it, it may stop. So again its state of motion has changed. It was already moving, but now its motion has stopped. Now its motion is has ceased. Similarly, we can have the change in the state of motion by changing the direction. So these are the various kinds of things which force can do. So the definition which we can write for force is, it is an agent, it is an agent which changes state of motion or causes deformation on an object. Okay, so this we can write. So what force can do? The force can change speed of object, it can change direction, direction of motion, it can change shape. Shape कैसे change करेगा? How does it change shape? If we take an object, if suppose we have a rubber band, if we try to stretch it, its length increases. If we have some spring, if we compress it, its length decreases. So shape of change can also occur with the application of force. So change in shape. Change in shape. Okay, so this is the force, and the force has been known since ancient time, and there are many things which there are many kind of studies which has been done related to force. So first thing we are going to discuss is Aristotle fallacy. What is Aristotle fallacy? So Aristotle was a scientist in the ancient Greek. In the ancient Greek civilization, he was a scientist, and what he gave a theory that if an object has to move on a there must be a constant force or continuous force applied on the object, and that is also the perception, a general perception among the common masses also. In our childhood also, before we studied these things, F equal to ma laws, everyone tends to think that if we apply a constant force, only then some object will keep on moving. Some object will keep on moving only when we apply some force. So that is the Aristotle fallacy. So a force must be applied for on an object if it has to move continuously. So a force must be applied on an object if it has to move continuously. But this is not a correct law. Actually, the Galileo in 15th century, this was the Aristotle was in ancient Greek, so that is around 2000 years back. But around approx 500 years back, Galileo did some experiments, and he concluded that force is not required for continuous motion. So if you do not apply any force, then object keeps on moving for infinite time. It will keep on moving for infinite time. So that was the law given by Galileo. So that is called law of inertia. So we will discuss that. So what is law of inertia? It was given by Galileo. Law of inertia, and it was given by Galileo. And first we will see the Galileo experiment. So first we will see Galileo's experiment. See what experiment he did. What he did was, so what he did was, we can see in this diagram, what he did, he took an incline and he took a ball which can roll on this incline. So suppose he rolled a ball from here on a smooth incline, and the ball, if it is released from height h, other side it goes up to same height. It was observed from the experiment. If a ball is released on an incline, it moves on the incline and it goes on the opposite side, and then it rises to the same height. So the height which it rises on the other side is same. Similarly, if he is taking some other incline, suppose he is taking an incline like this, suppose this incline is slightly modified. So how it is modified? This side is kept same, the left side is kept same, but the right side is made something like this. The incline is made slightly lesser than the previous one. It is made like this. So in this case, what is happening, that again, if ball is released from height h, suppose it is released from height h, it will go like this, and it goes to larger distance, but it covers the same height h. The height covered is h here and h here, but this time it has to cover a larger distance because the incline is less. Now it decreases the incline further. So if you decreases the incline, suppose this one is still same, the left side is still same, but the right side is like this. So what will happen? It is released from height h, the object is released from height h, but to cover the same height, the object has to go to a very large distance, up to here. Now the last time what he did was, he took the incline, and second side he just took a horizontal surface, and he released the ball again. So what is happening there? The ball in every case reaches to height h. So in the last case also it should be able to reach height h, but in last case the surface is horizontal. So to rise to height h, the ball has to move up to infinite distance. So this was the experiment. So if you make this angle 0, or if you make the surface horizontal, means the ball has to move up to infinite distance. So it means what? If a ball is released on a horizontal surface without any external force, no external force is applied, then the ball has to move up to infinite distance. So the ball moves up to infinite distance. Ball moves up to infinite distance. So it means that if there is no force applied, the ball will keep on moving with its whatever velocity it is provided. With the same velocity, it will keep on moving. So on the basis of that, he gave the concept